Hello, 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 welcome back. It is Boxing Day. I said that I'd give you a sneak peek of what's coming in 2020 and that sneak peek is right behind me. It is an EG Honda Civic. There you go, guys. Why do I have a Honda Civic, you may ask? Well, when I was building the Stroker, which you're still seeing videos come out about now if you watch the channel, I decided it probably wasn't going to be the best idea to use it as a daily driver. The time had kind of come to start thinking about getting a new daily for myself, something I could drive through the winter time, something I would still enjoy driving, and it would take the place of the BMW to get me to and from work every day. I started looking at Honda Civics along with Natalie actually at the same time. Now, as you may or may not know, we had the blue EJ Honda Civic about a year ago, which was bloody rusty. Insert pictures here. In our little search, didn't really think that we had a half chance in hell of finding a decent sort of £500 Honda Civic, but we came across a grey one up near London, which Natalie was looking at, an EJ, basically exactly the same as our old one, which was a bit tatty on the outside, but underneath was pretty solid. And we thought, wow, excellent, okay. That gave me kind of inspiration to keep looking myself and see what I could find. So I'll tell you more about how I came to get it in a minute, but let's show you the car itself before we go a bit too far into this. So she is an EG model Honda Civic, which looks pretty tatty from the outside, as you can see. The paint is faded, as is standard Honda red. She's had a bump on every corner, as you can see. Bit of damage to the boot lid. A little scrape on this side. Again, more pink paint down the side of the car. But underneath, she's solid as a rock. I don't have a plan, but having a Civic has rekindled my Honda love. And I kind of had a hankering for another CRX, but they're getting ridiculously expensive. So you start looking at the next best thing. And maybe, just maybe, that's this Civic that's behind me. Okay, so the idea is to use it as a daily driver until April, when it then runs out of MOT. In April, I'm going to gut this thing right down pretty much to the bare shell and start from the ground up, basically. Okay, so let's give you, now we're in the humble abode of the nice new Civic, which is completely standard, let me just say. Let's give you a little bit of a rundown of how I came to come across it. So during my search for this Civic, I came across this little advert. Woman's name called Margaret on it. Very little description, no pictures, really kind of loose around the edges. I gave the number a call, thinking this is either going to be somebody that doesn't know what they've got, or it's going to be a load of rubbish. Spoke to the old lady. She sounded very nice, and I arranged to go and see the car and have a little look. We jump in Natalie's new grey, not rusty, EJ Civic, sorry. We get up to Oxford and we meet the most quirky, interesting old lady you could possibly imagine. A very brief rundown is she was 92 years old, living on her own in what was like a hobbit house in Oxford. And the kind of story loosely goes that her husband bought the car whilst he was working for an oil company out in Dubai, had it spec'd as a UK car, and then had it shipped back soon after he finished working out there. So ultimately that means the car is what's known in this country as a parallel, not a grey, a parallel import. So it is imported from the desert, basically. Hence the reason why underneath we think that she's pretty clean and the paint on the outside is really pink. It probably lived its life in the sun for the first couple of years, got burnt to hell, but at least wasn't in the salty roads that we have here. It's currently done 78,400 miles, and the engine runs pretty damn well after a couple of little tweaks and a few things that needed looking at when I got it. Perfectly well to get me through till April, let's say. She's not perfect. As you've seen from the outside, she is ratty as hell. She's got a bonnet that needs repairing, she's got bumpers that need repairing, she's got dents that need taken out. As I said before, a few little issues with the engine. It doesn't run absolutely perfect, and it's only a D15 B2 or whatever they're called anyway, so it's got absolutely no power. It needs wheel bearings, it needs suspension components, it needs new headlights. A few things I bought for it. The headlights namely are the first thing I purchased for her. It's had your usual service stuff because, you know, why buy a car and then not change the oil in the oil filter? I've done that already, but those are just things to get me through till next April. The reason I keep going on about the no rust situation is, as you know, if you've driven a Honda, if you own a Honda, or if you're anything like us with Japanese cars, underneath they rot like crazy. The blue one was at the point where it was pretty much unfixable. The grey one that Natalie now has is in much better condition, needed a little bit of dressing up for the MOT, but nothing really worth talking about. When I got underneath this one to change the oil, the jacking pads have still got paint on them. Now, I can't believe that, man. I did not expect that for a month of Sundays. When I went and bought it, I had a quick look underneath it and I didn't think I could see any rust, but I was completely confirmed by the time I got it back and got her up on axle stands. So, it looks like it's going to be a perfect blank canvas, because the bit that really causes you the problem with these cars looks like it's solid, the underneath. I can fix the outside, I can fix the mechanical stuff. I don't really want to be welding horrible corners of rust like I did with that blue one before. So, it needs everything doing to it, really. My idea is that in April I'm going to gut all the suspension and redo every bush and every ball joint, clean every arm, paint all the arms, put probably coilovers on it and go down that route, and maybe looking at uprating the brakes and so on and so forth. I want to do a similar job to what I did with my Honda CRX, where I completely reshelled that car, but I want to take it that next step further. I want to really, when I had the CRX, I was a bit skint, guys. It was a long time ago. And I tried to get cheaper things where I shouldn't have done, like shock absorbers and springs weren't very good, all that sort of stuff. A little bit older and a little bit wiser now, and I know that, you know, you got to do it right first time. That's more important than it ever has been. My intention is to really go, let's say, balls out with this, strip it to a shell, completely paint it, get all the suspension, the brakes, the running gear all sorted, and then maybe talk about doing an engine swap. I don't really know what I'm going to do with the interior now. There's a little bit of me which would like to just keep it completely as it looks right now, but at the same time it's pretty boring and pretty grey. The carpets are nasty, the seats are pretty nasty. Although I might like it, I think it looks pretty crap if I'm perfectly honest. Okay, so as I said, the interior's pretty shabby. The outside of the car is the way it is. Let me have your thoughts. Let's get a bit of feedback going on this one. If any of you have owned one of these, what are the options for changing the colour of the carpets or the dash? Are there any companies I can look at that can help me with that? Give us your input, guys. I'd be interested to find out. Apart from that, follow the channel. In April, we'll be taking this thing to parts. But for now, that is the sneak peek introduction done. This is my new project, my little Honda Civic. I love it. I'm not going to get enough of it. And I tell you what, that gearbox, man, is one of the best gearboxes I've ever driven with. Beats the BMW hands down. But don't tell BMW that. As always, guys, thanks for watching. And let's have a good 2020.